Baruch Hashem, we're up to chapter 6, verse 20. It says, Vayikach Amram es Yocheved Dodaso lo Isha. And Amram took, Moshe's father, Amram took Yocheved, his aunt, as a wife. Vatirid lo es Aaron es Moshe. And she gave birth to Aaron and Moses. Ushnei Chaye Amram Sheva Ushloshim Ma'ashana. So we said, yes, and the years of Amram were 137. Rashi tells us, why do we need to know this? Rashi says, from the years of Kahat's life, through this reckoning of Kahat and Amram, we learn that the children of Israel were in Egypt for 400 years. Because the Pasuk says that they were not in Egypt only, except from the day Yitzchak was born. Meaning to say that the 400 years started from the day Yitzchak was born. Because Kahat went down to Egypt. He was one of those people who went down to Egypt, and all of his years were 133. And he was one of the people who went down to Egypt. And if you add up the 137 years of Amram and the 80 of Moshe, then you don't even get to 400. So therefore, and there are a lot of overlap. So therefore, it's clear that we have to start the 400 years starting from the time when Yitzchak was born. Okay. Vayikach, and what does it mean Yocheved his aunt? Achas means the sister of his father. Bas Levi Achos Kahas. She was the daughter of Levi and the sister of Kahas. She was the daughter of Levi and the sister of Kahas. Okay, next pasuk. Uvinei Yitzar, Korach v'Nefeg v'Zichri. The sons of Yitzar were Korach, Nefeg, and Zichri, and the sons of Uziel were Mishael, Tzafim, and Sisri. Pasuk of Gimel. Vayikach Aaron es Elisheva, Bas Aminadav. Aaron, hello there, how you doing, all right? Baruch Hashem, grab a chumash. So Aaron took, here, come sit next to me, keep me company. Everybody else is late, except for Deborah and Rabbi Yosef there on the Zoom. But everybody else is not as on time as you. All right. So we're chapter 6, verse 23. And Aaron took, somebody's upstairs? Yeah, I don't know who it is. Aaron took Elisheva, the daughter of Aminadav, the sister of Nachshon, as his wife, and she gave birth for him to Nadav and Avihu and Elazar and Itamar. From here we learn that a person, how you doing? Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. What did you think of our entrance on Saturday night? Did you see it? It was great. Did you see the entrance? Yeah. Beautiful. What? We did. I don't know. We did. Yeah, it was amazing. But next time we really messed up, Norai. The speaker was so pathetic. I was so embarrassed. We need to buy a real speaker for the yeshiva so we could walk around with it. You know, like a speaker that I can. How much does that cost? It's worth it. Yeah. I don't want to be a peasant. We need to be a big one. Let's see if we get one for cheap, because we can't go around like peasants with a little thing. That was very schwach. We needed a big one. Cheaper. All right. So we got to work on this. Next time we do an entrance, we should find another opportunity. Chapter 6, verse 23. Yeah, Vaera. Because, chapter 6, verse 23 of Exodus. You have the page, Donnie? Okay, so, and basically we see from here that if a person marries a woman, first he has to check out her brothers. That before you marry somebody, you have to check out her brothers, because your children, the Gemara tells us in Baba Basra, that your children are going to be like your wife's brothers. So that's why it says in the pasuk that Aaron took Elisheva, the sister of Nachshon, as his wife. So his children are going to be like Nachshon. All right, so you guys are a little too young still. You have to be 18 to get married. and you're too young, but maybe a year or two. Okay, pasuk chaftal. Bnei Korach, Asir ve'Elkanah v'Yasef el mishpachot ha'karchi. Okay, pasuk chafei. Tani, you read chafei. Ve'Elazar. The first, yeah, ve'Elazar. Putiel. Yeah, right. Excellent. Okay, excellent. So, Pasuk says that Elazar, the son of Aaron, took from the daughters of Putiel for him to be for a wife, and she gave birth to him to her Pinchas, and these are heads of the tribes of the Levites for their families. So Elazar, who did Elazar, the son of Aaron, marry? So Rashi says the daughters of Putiel, she came from two of her ancestors. She was from the seed of Yisro, who fattened calves to idolatry. So she must have been like the granddaughter of Yisro. We don't know exactly how she was. Was she the daughter or the granddaughter of Yisro? And she was also the seed of Joseph, who overcame his evil inclination. So this woman, how is she the descendant? How are you doing? What, did you not go to school today? Oh, okay. Grab a chumash. Moshe,
Rabbi,
yeah. Hold on. Yes.
I was just going to ask about Korah.
Wait. What is it? Rabbi Yosef?
I was going to ask about Korach. In Tehillim, Avi Asaf is known as Asaf. Do you know anybody who explains the difference in the name?
I didn't look at it yet. So why don't you ask AI? I don't know of him, but ask Gemini. They're the best. They're the biggest Torah scholar around. But it's a good question. That's a good question, Rabbi Yosef. I don't know the answer. One more answer. Oh no. One more question. I don't know the answer to. You there, Rabbi Yosef? Okay. Baruch Hashem. Sorry. All right. Grab a chumash. So I'm just still trying to figure this out because that basically Elazar married a woman who was the granddaughter of Yosef and Yisro. So presumably Yosef's child must have married Yisro's child. Okay, that's what we got. Okay, so anyway, that's going to be relevant for later on in the Torah. We're at chapter 6, verse 26. Moshe, we've been discussing how disappointed we are in the speaker. It was a terrible speaker on Saturday night. The speaker system that I came in with. Yeah. No, it's not acceptable. I need to buy one, a big one, for the next time we do something. We have to go big. My attitude is when I'm in the room, I want everyone to know I'm there. Not to be any doubt, no doubt. Okay, no, right, you read the next pasuk. That's what we have to do, Moshe.
Hashem lahem hotziu et bnei Israel me'eretz Mitzrayim al tzavatem.
Very good. So this is Aaron and Moshe. Who Aaron and Moshe? Asher Amar Hashem lahem, that Hashem said to them, hotziu as bnei Israel me'eretz Mitzrayim, lead out the children of Israel from Egypt al tzivotam, on their legions. So this is the lineage of Aaron and Moshe. Moshe, you want to read the Rashi? You Aaron and Moshe?
Who are Moshe? Ilu Uskuru Lamala Sheyada Yocheved Amram.
So he says these are the two who were born that Yocheved gave birth to Amram. Okay, go on.
Moshe Asher Amar Hashem.
These are Aaron and Moshe that God said. So now this next Rashi is so important. Read this, Moshe.
Extra.
Keep going. Yesh mekomot.
Shavaktim Aaron Moshe. Yesh Mekomot Shavaktim Moshe.
Uomar.
Lomar Sheshkruach Salim and Kachai.
Very beautiful. Okay, so there are some times where the Torah says Moshe and Aaron, and sometimes it says Aaron and Moshe. Why does it do that? To tell us that they were both of equal significance. How could they both be of equal significance? The Torah tells us there'll never be another human being as great as Moshe. There will never, ever be. So how could it say Aaron and Moshe were of equal significance? So what's the answer? What's the answer, Tani? By the way, I'm loving your kippah.
I couldn't find any.
No, I love it. I love it. Okay.
I know you were.
Yeah. So what does it mean that they are of equal significance? So it means like
leadership?
This. Yeah. What?
In their leadership?
Yeah, we could say in their leadership, very shkoyach. I think it means like that. It also means that just because one person is, let's say, a bigger Torah scholar than somebody else, doesn't mean that another person doesn't have an equally significant role in the world. That each of us have our role, and we have to be the best version of ourselves. And if we do that, if we're both the best version of what we're capable of, then we're going to be equivalent. Meaning to say, Reb Zusha was crying when he was. There's a famous story about Reb Zusha. You know the story about Reb Zusha when he was crying. You know the story, Nadiv? As he's nearing his death, he was crying, and they said, Reb Zusha, why are you crying? You davened like Aaron, you studied Torah like Moshe. What do you have to be embarrassed about? You were great. He said, does anybody know his answer? What did he say, Nadiv?
Forgot his answer, but I just remember the story.
Okay, so the answer is come on. Yeah, go on.
Because now you can't do mitzvos anymore.
So the answer is that Zusha said, I'm not worried when I get up to heaven if they're going to ask me if I was as great as Aaron or as great as Moshe. You know what they're going to ask me when I get up to heaven? How come you're not as great as Zusha? How come you're not as great as you were supposed to be? We're not supposed to compare ourselves to other people. We're supposed to be the best version of ourselves. Not everybody has a totally different quality. Everybody has a totally different capability in this world. Like not everybody can have, the greatest muscles. Not everybody can have the greatest singing voice. Not everybody can have the greatest, IQ. Not everybody can have the chillest demeanor, never losing their temper. But each of us have to use our abilities to the best that we can be, to be the best version of ourselves. And that's what Moshe and Aaron were, the best version of themselves. And that's why it says they were shkuin ka'echad. And that's the most important thing. Like you can't compare yourself to somebody else. You have to compare yourself to yourself. Am I being the best version of myself? Who here thinks they're being the best version of themselves? Good. Because that means there's room for improvement. Baruch Hashem. Okay, very nice, Moshe. Very nice, Moshe. I like that. Okay, so now keep reading the next Rashi. Moshe.
Which one?
Al Tzivotam. You know what? I'll just read this one. Because that's technical. We'll skip that one. Okay, whose turn is it to read? No, you read.
Which possibly?
It says basically Pasuk of Zion. 27, chapter 6. Very good.
Yeah.
Right, they're the ones who spoke. They're the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to lead forth the children of Israel from Egypt. That is Moses and Aaron. Rashi says they were the ones that commanded. They're the ones who fulfilled what they commanded. They remained steadfast in their mission from beginning to end. Okay, so this is another reason why it says Moshe and Aaron, that they remain the same level of commitment. You know what the Gemara says elsewhere? Who do you think gets the reward for the mitzvah? The one who starts the mitzvah or the one who finishes the mitzvah? Let's say it's a mitzvah to clean up after ourselves here in the yeshiva. So let's say somebody starts cleaning up and another person finishes the cleanup. Who gets the reward for that mitzvah?
The person who finishes.
The person who finishes. A mitzvah is called over the one who finishes it. Because to do a half a job is not impressive. Not impressive. Better off to do no job than a half a job. It's not impressive. You have to finish the mitzvah, go all the way through. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron did. They did it from beginning until the end. They did the mitzvah all the way through. The mitzvah is called on the ones who finish it. So, well, anybody have a disagreement about that? Yeah, no.
Well, then what if you like clean like 90% of the room and leave 10% for someone else?
Yeah, it's
Still their mitzvah.
It's their mitzvah. You have to finish it. You're supposed to finish the mitzvah. It's easier to start the mitzvah than it is to finish. You have to finish the mitzvah, Noam. You don't do a half a job. Go all the way through. Yeah.
What if you have like other obligations that you have to get done?
Oh, so then from the beginning, you could say, listen, I'm not, find somebody to help you do it. Like, work it out. But you can't just leave a job undone. You can't leave a mitzvah undone. Let's say I would say to you, okay, let's say no ride. A lot of people ask no ride for rides. Baruch Hashem. No ride says, sure, I'll give you a ride. Where do you want to go? You say, oh, I need to go to New York. Say no ride says, yeah, I'm going there too. And then he starts going, and then he decides, no, you know what? I'm dropping you right here in what's that place? On the Pulaski Highway, down like an hour and a half away from here. Sorry, you'll make it from here. No, obviously that's not a mitzvah. You just dropped a person randomly and said, no, that's not a mitzvah. You don't get the mitzvah. You told you were taking them to New York. If you took them halfway and you dropped them in Cherry Hill, that's not a favor to them. What are they going to do from Cherry Hill? They have to start all over. Unless from the beginning you said to them, listen, this is what I could do for you, and you will have to make sure you can figure it out. Then it's a big mitzvah. But just to like switch on them in the middle and say, you know what, I decide I'm going to chill with my friends in Cherry Hill. You get your own way from here. No, that's not a mitzvah. Yeah.
What if you like originally only say your goal to like clean half?
What?
What if you like originally only say your goal to clean half the rooms? Like you're not like expecting to clean more.
As long as you work it out. But who did you say that to? No, that's not a good thing. Cleaning half of a room is not a good thing.
Speaking about cleaning the rooms, they always leave the kitchen for me to clean.
Well, now you get the mitzvah. You get the mitzvah, no, right? Baruch Hashem, and they need to hear this message. The good Reb David, shkoyach to you. The mitzvah. Well, you should be so happy. You're not so happy? I'd be so happy. Baruch Hashem, no, right? I thank you. No, right? I say thank you to you. Thank you to you, Norai. Thank you.
I don't want to make you clean.
No, I appreciate you, Norai. Okay, Kobe, what were you saying there, Kobe?
Oh, well, it was a little different, but I was gonna ask.
Speak loudly, Kobe. The world needs to hear your voice.
I was gonna ask if someone gives their child tzedakah to give.
Yeah.
The person who gives the tzedakah gets the mitzvah. But like if I gave my child tzedakah,
God willing, one day, Baruch Hashem,
he would get the mitzvah of putting in tzedakah. But I wouldn't get any mitzvah.
No, that's a different case. You for sure would get the mitzvah, because in that case, that's a different story, Kobe. There, you didn't do after mitzvah. There's something that's called a shliach mitzvah, an agent for a mitzvah. So it's better to give tzedakah like that. If there's a pushka over there, a charity, or a poor man over there, and I give you $1, and I say, go give it to him, you're being my agent. So if you give a person $1 and say, give it to tzedakah, it's your mitzvah of tzedakah, and that person is acting as your agent, so you spread the mitzvah around. That's a beautiful thing. But if you just give that person $1 and say, do whatever you want with it, and they give it to tzedakah, then that's their mitzvah of tzedakah, and depending on who the person is, you maybe get a mitzvah of giving a gift. So it is a beautiful thing to get as many people involved in the mitzvah. So yeah, if you want to say to your friends, come on guys, let's clean up. So we don't want the rabbi to have to spend his afternoon cleaning up after us. Let's all clean up together, and you got other guys to do it. That's the best way to do the mitzvah, as long as you could say it in a nice way. Yeah, Elon.
So let's say it's I don't know, I'd like to go at 8:30, right?
What?
Let's say I have to go at 8:30 in the morning, right?
Baruch Hashem.
It's 8:25, and I'm like, ooh, I could do half the job in 5 minutes. Should I do it or should I not do it? Because if I don't have the time, but I could do half of it, I think it's still a little better for me.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is you have to ask. It's a good thing that you're doing, but just be aware that somebody else is going to come after you and complete the job, and they get the mitzvah.
I get no mitzvah.
I'm not saying you don't get any mitzvah. In that case, obviously, you have to use a little bit of common sense. You have to use a little bit of common sense, and obviously, that's better than nothing. But generally speaking, doing a half a job is not necessarily a good thing because you create the expectation that the job is done, and also it's just like the lack of effort at the end. Just a lack of effort at the end. So that's and it's almost there's when you have a lack of effort, it's very disheartening. Very disheartening.
What if you do something and then just stop and you intend to come back in 5 minutes and someone comes and finishes?
Somebody steals your mitzvah. That's so. First of all, you have to be careful about that. You know what? Zrizim makdimin. You have to rush to do the mitzvah. Then that person gets the mitzvah. That's why you have an opportunity for a mitzvah. Don't push off. Don't assume you're going to get that opportunity later. You always have to seize the mitzvah. The Gemara talks about a case where somebody takes the mitzvah of somebody else and he has to pay him. If somebody takes your mitzvah, you were supposed to do it. You have to pay the person who you stole the mitzvah from. But that's where it was a sign. Like, let's say somebody was supposed to be a moel for one person, and he had signed up to be the moel, and then somebody else came ahead and jumped ahead of him and took that mitzvah. Then the guy who stole the mitzvah has to pay the other person because he took away his mitzvah from him. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure where we're up to, but yeah. Anyway, good. Pasuk Chof Ches, Ilan. Chapter 6, verse 28.
Okay. Right there.
Vayehi b'yom.
Vayibiyom Tever Hashem al Moshe be'eretz Mitzrayim.
Vayehi b'yom diber Hashem al Moshe be'eretz Mitzrayim. So this was the day that God spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt. Okay, one more pasuk line. That was so small.
Pretty small.
Yeah. And Rashi himself says this is connected to the next pasuk. Okay, go on. Right. So, and God spoke to Moses saying, I am Hashem. Speak to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, everything that I spoke to you. What does Rashi say? This is the very same statement that was made above. Go speak to Pharaoh. So why is it being repeated? Because it was interrupted by the ancestry. But I saw a different answer other than Rashi. I once saw a different answer. Let me just say the narrative. Moshe says, how can I go to Pharaoh? Pharaoh's not going to listen to me. Then gives all the genealogy. And then God says again to Moshe, go and speak to Pharaoh. So Moshe says, what's going on here? How does that answer? So he says, you know how you're going to go to Pharaoh? You need to know who you are. Who are you? You're the children of Moshe. You're the children of Yocheved, of Amram. You are royalty. You're royalty. Aryeh, I was so worried you weren't going to come because I forgot to call you today. Baruch Hashem, I was so worried, Aryeh. I was thinking the whole time, I really messed up today. Usually I love calling Aryeh, but I forgot. Today was complicated. Okay, one more pasuk here. Nativ. By the way, today, you know why I didn't call you? Because I got 2 cameos today to call in, and one of them even gave a $5 tip. We raised like $30 for Lek in Israel this afternoon, and one of them they said, they're like, they tell me to say these. First, they tell me on these cameos. You tell me what I should do. They tell me on these cameos to say these like crazy things, and do you think I should just turn down the cameo or should I say it?
Like what kinds of things? How crazy? Yeah.
They're like a little inappropriate. Like, for example, he likes to be called Shuggy Boy and tell him he's got no chance of ever meeting a girl who's going to marry him. He needs to get an arranged marriage, stuff like that. Yeah, so I was thinking, at first I was turning those down, but then I was thinking, you know what? Everybody knows it's a joke and we're raising money for charity, so it's okay. So I made the decision to do it, even though I said some things which I don't normally speak like that. Then they told me, roast one guy. So you could see my cameos. It's on the website. So I said, you're not so special. That's how that guy gave me a $5 tip. All right. All goes to charity. All tzedakah. All Leket Israel. Yeah, Nadiv, will you read the last one? Yeah. Vayomer Moshe.
Which pasuk?
Pasuk Lamed. Vayomer Moshe Lefnei Hashem.
Vayomer Moshe Lefnei Hashem Hen Ani Ara. So assign it. Ve'echishma ele paro.
Right. He says, Moshe says, I have blocked lips. How will Paro listen to me? So why is it repeated? Because Rashi says again, Moshe still can't get over the fact that he is Aral Sefasayim. Why can't he get over that fact? God is telling him, this is such an important message, no, right? God is telling him, go to Paro. Go to Paro. He says, I can't do it. God's telling him he can do it. How come Moshe still says he can't do it? This is such a terrible thing that most of us have, which is we don't believe in ourselves enough. And even though God is telling Moshe, go and do it, Moshe says, I can't do it. But God's telling us, well, God told you, no, right? You're created for greatness. So never say, I can't do it. You can do it. That's the message. Were you trying to say something, David? Did I cut you off? Okay, Baruch Hashem, everybody. We're going to dive in Mincha now. Nadiv, remember that message. God's telling us we can do it. We can do it, Baruch Hashem.